All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And also peace and safety to the Akim that's spread across the four corners of the world, that's pushing out this truth with all diligence and putting their lives on the line to do so. My brother Karatazah here from Great Millstone, Atlanta, here with another lesson, going into the topic of, basically, having necessities, in the time that we're in, whether it's food, water, you know, certain, survival, you know, equipment, tents, stuff like that, and, of course, before, I get into it, just to put the message out, no, we don't, depend on those things, but at the same time, a man of the Lord had necessities, and the basic needs of life, so to speak, in hard times. All right. And, we, us foreseeing, the trouble that's coming, it will be unwise, for you not to, in some sort of way prepare, for the times that's coming, because we understand that the famine is coming, as the scriptures say, we understand that, these stores are going to, shut down, we understand that the items in these stores, in the near future, because of the tariffs, I believe they up, to like 145%, the imports from China. All right. So, America is going straight to a hard time. So it'd be unwise for you not to, store up necessities, while you can, So this is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. All right. So this is, on the, so like it. This is on a higher level of having the wisdom, man. Being smart and redeeming the time. As it says in the next verse, because these people, the fools, they don't see the evil coming. They don't see the famine. Or they think that it can't happen to America, or it won't happen in America. Because America has blinded them from the reality of the world. So it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. All right. Now, of course we understand that, us doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is us, redeeming the time. We understand that, through prayer, fasting, camp, videos, fellowship, etc. That's us, redeeming the time, buying back the time. All right. And on another aspect of it, is us preparing for what's going to happen in America. Because who's to say that, you're not going to need, water to drink or water to use? It's a necessity, man. As it tells us in the, the book, the Apocrypha. Matter of fact, let me get that really quick. Typo. Sirach 36, I believe. (39 and 26). God, it says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. You see, so that the principal things of man's life, is what we should try to store up. There's nothing wrong with that. The scriptures say, why should you be over righteous? Why should thou destroy thyself? Loosely paraphrasing. That's the beauty of having the 100% truth, man. Because on one side, these guys believe, don't think that you need to do these certain things, that you should just go with the flow, so to speak. And on the other side, you got guys don't even think it's gonna happen. So with us foreseeing it, being prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, us foreseeing the evil that's coming, how unwise would it be for us not to prepare? For the just by having the principal things. Let me see if I can get that word principle. How they spelled it yet? It's the etymology of the word principle. It says main, principal, chief, dominant, largest, greatest, or most important. You see? Now you have to, filter, your knowledge, by way of, through understanding. And we understand that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai comes first. That's who we solely, depend on and lean on. That's who we put our trust into. But it doesn't, it's important for you to still have the principle, things in life, So that's the spirit, that's been on brothers, on the apostles, is to kind of, not even kind of, but to prepare for the trouble that's coming, man. Especially if you have family and kids, or even for us single brothers, man. Because they are important, man. The Lord is pushing that spirit for a reason. Okay? So I just wanted to briefly touch on that, Lord willing, edifying. Go ahead and close up by giving all praises, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rachak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Till the next time, Shalom.